On November 24, 1971, a man boarded a plane in Portland. He looked like a normal businessman. Black suit, white shirt, briefcase in hand. No one suspected that within a few hours, he would hijack the plane, demand $200,000, and jump into the darkness from 10,000 feet, never to be seen again. His name was D.B. Cooper. But here's the question that still puzzles investigators today. Was he a criminal who died in the wilderness, or a mastermind who escaped the perfect crime? The flight was operated by Northwest Orient Airlines. Flight number 305, destination, Seattle. The aircraft was a Boeing 727. One passenger sat quietly in seat 18C. The ticket he purchased used the name Dan Cooper. Witnesses later described him as calm, polite, middle-aged, completely ordinary. And maybe that was the most dangerous thing about him, because no one was watching him. But ask yourself this: why would someone commit such a risky crime in the first place? Was it money, revenge, or something else? Shortly after takeoff, Cooper called a flight attendant. Her name was Florence Schaffner. He handed her a small folded note. At first, she didn't open it. Passengers often gave notes with phone numbers. But Cooper leaned toward her and quietly said, "You should read that note." Inside was a message that changed everything. "I have a bomb. Think about that moment. You are a flight attendant. You are thousands of feet in the air, and a passenger calmly tells you he has a bomb. What would you do?" Schaffner sat beside Cooper. He opened his briefcase slightly. Inside, she saw red cylinders and wires. It looked like an explosive device. Then he calmly explained his demands. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. Now here is something strange. Why would a hijacker ask for 4 parachutes? Investigators later believed he wanted authorities to think he might force the crew to jump with him, which meant police couldn't risk giving him fake parachutes. But this raises another question. Was Cooper already planning his escape from the very beginning? Instead of landing immediately, the plane began circling the Seattle area. Authorities needed time to gather the ransom money. During this time, something unexpected happened. Cooper remained calm. He ordered a drink. He even paid for it. Passengers later said he seemed polite, almost relaxed, which raises another mystery. Was this his first crime, or had he done something like this before? At 5:45 p.m., the plane landed at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. The ransom money was delivered. Every bill had its serial number recorded. Cooper checked the money carefully. Then he released all the passengers, but he kept several crew members. Because the most dangerous part of his plan was about to begin. If you had $200,000 and a parachute, where would you escape? Cooper ordered the plane back into the air. His destination, Mexico, but he gave unusual instructions. The aircraft must fly low, slow, and with the rear staircase accessible. Investigators later realized something shocking. The Boeing 727 had a unique feature, a staircase that could be lowered mid-flight, which meant one thing. Cooper planned to jump, but imagine this: night, rain, freezing temperatures, and forests stretching for miles below, which leads to the biggest question in the entire mystery. Did he really think he could survive that jump? At around 8 p.m., the crew noticed a warning light. It indicated the rear staircase had been lowered. Soon after, the aircraft suddenly shifted upward. Investigators believe this was the exact moment. D.B. Cooper jumped. He carried the ransom money with him. Below him was nothing but wilderness, no witnesses, no cameras, just darkness. And after that moment, no one ever saw him again. But here is what makes the mystery even stranger. No parachute was ever found. No body was discovered. So what really happened to him? The FBI launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Agents searched forests and rivers, helicopters scanned the mountains. Thousands of soldiers joined the search, but nothing was found. It was as if Cooper had vanished into thin air, which raises two possibilities. Either he died in the wilderness, or he escaped. And if he escaped, where did he go? 9 years later, something strange happened. A boy named Brian Ingram was digging in the sand near the Columbia River. He uncovered bundles of decaying $20 bills. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, but only about $5,800 was recovered. The rest of the money was never found, which raises another question. If Cooper died, how did the money end up buried there? More than 50 years later, the mystery remains unsolved. The FBI investigated hundreds of suspects. None were proven to be the hijacker. Some believe Cooper died that night. Others believe he survived and lived the rest of his life quietly. But one thing is certain. On a cold night in 1971, a man stepped out of an airplane with a parachute and a bag of money and disappeared into history. So now the question is for you. Do you think D.B. Cooper survived the jump? Or did the wilderness claim him forever?